So, welcome back to another episode of The Boring Wisdom. In this one, we'll be exploring an interesting book which is called as Indistractable, which basically is based on how to control your attention and choose your life. It's all based on mastering the art of focus in the distracted world. So, in Indistractable, Nir Eyal, the author of this book, explores how we can possibly regain the control of our life. So, by understanding the psychological triggers that lead us away from our goals, Eyal, the author of this book, provides actionable strategies to help us stay focused, manage our time, and align our action with our values. So, whether it's work, personal growth, or relationship, this book teaches you how to stay engaged with your rules and what truly matters to you. And no matter how many distractions come in your way, you will be focused if you just focus on this book and the actionable steps and the rules and whatever that happens to be the philosophy provided in this book. So let's start with understanding why you are distracted and how we can possibly fix that. So in today's world, distractions are everywhere, from social media notification to constant bombardment of emails, SMS, or whatever that happens to be. You just have a lot of stuff like Snapchats. Ting, 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 snap, sent you a chat, sent you this, sent you that, and all of these constant notification, constant dopamine. So, Nir Eyal, the author of this book, explores the root cause of these distractions and why our brain is so susceptible to them. The key is understanding the internal triggers that lead to distraction and by replacing them with intentional, focused action. So, in Indistractable, Eyal shows that how to stop being pulled away from our priorities and start living with greater focus. So, as the old said, you can't find the enemy you don't understand. So, you have to first understand what drives our distraction, why we are distracted. The internal trigger you must recognize, right? So, according to Eyal, the author of this book, distraction does not just come from the external sources like your phone or internet. They are often driven by your internal triggers like emotions, boredom, stress, frustration. Why do you take your phone and just start to scroll Instagram? Because you're bored, because you want dopamine. It all comes down to internal, right? That we just try to escape by seeking distraction. To become indistractable, we need to recognize these triggers and address the underlying needs they point out. Why do you do that? If you are bored, you need dopamine. If you are bored, you want some sort of stimulation. So, how you can provide stimulation other than by replacing social media? What is the next thing that you can do? What is the replacement that you can do? What is the alternative that you can do, which could be not as stimulating as social media, but maybe less, but actually is stimulating to you and is also good for you? So, you have to find those things, right? Now, time management versus attention management. So, while time management is important, the author of this book emphasizes that it is not enough. You cannot just have a big schedule, a very rigid schedule, and can walk away with it. The real challenge lies in the attention management. If you just constantly work for 16 hours a day, but you just pay attention, pay really 5 hours of attention on your work, maybe 5 focused hours on your work when you're working 16 hours a day, that's not enough. You need proper attention management. You can have it all time in the world, but if you're not fully engaged in your task, you won't accomplish what truly matters. To become indistractable, you must deliberately think about where you place your attention, resisting to pull the distraction and focus on what truly aligns with your goals. You have to just constantly focus on your goals. Even if you're working for 5 hours a day, if you can possibly work maybe 4, or if you are working 5 hours, let's just 5 hours a day with focus, then you will get more done as compared to a guy who's working 16 hours a day but with 3 hours of focus work. Just think about the difference that you can make. Now, what exactly is the step-by-step process? How we can possibly become indistractable? How you can possibly remove all the distractions out of your life? So there is a 4-step simple process. The first one is master internal triggers. You have to identify and address these internal triggers that leads to distraction. Just sit down and start to journal. Start to just point out the things that you do before you go into these habits, like these destructive habits like scrolling social media. What were you doing when you just started to scroll social media. Like what I was doing before. I sat down and I was bored, so I picked up my phone, started scrolling. Boredom, write it down. Then what did we do? You were frustrated, write it down. You were kind of feeling tired, write it down. All of these things, identify your internal triggers, and then just mark all these things and start to find the points. Like you have to find the data points, right? Then the second thing is make time for traction. Plan your time so that you intentionally engage in the activities that align with your values and goals. Have a timetable, have a schedule with which you can actually work. You don't necessarily need just task that you're going to do this particular thing in a day. No, you need time blocks, a proper time blocks, that from 9 to 10 I'm going to do this, from 10 to 11 I'm going to do this, and in the evening this is the specific time I'm going to do this thing. This is how you do the time for traction. Then the third thing is hack internal triggers, hack external triggers, right? Take control of the external factors that can lead you to astray, such as turning off notifications, setting up boundaries in your environment, maybe cleaning your desk or putting your phone in another room or things like that. These are external triggers that you can just remove, declutter your space. Then fourth point is prevent distraction with pacts. Create pre-commitment or agreement that makes distraction hard to access, like blocking social media during work hours, or just putting your phone on D&D, these kind of things. There's just prevent distractions. So, in short, becoming indistractable isn't about avoiding distractions entirely, it's about learning how to control them. By understanding and managing internal and external triggers, prioritizing your time, and using the pre commitments, you can regain control of your attention. So, with eval strategies, you'll be able to become more focused and more efficient with your work and what truly matters in your life, and leading to a greater fulfillment and productivity. So if you want to like read this book, then there is a link in the description. You can just download it. It's for free. Like it's a pirate's version or whatever that happens to be. I just read it from there only. So if you want to read it, there is a link in the description. You can just go and download that book. And there is also one small little guide that will help you become indistractable. This is like my personal guide, what I do to just declutter my mind and declutter my space. So if you like the video, put on a like. If you dislike the video, put on a dislike, and see you in the next one.